Okay, you guys, so welcome. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing your time with us this afternoon. As you know, we have a new name to our career counseling program. It's called Career Reform. So as past graduates in one way, shape, or form, we really want to kind of get your honest take on what your experience was like. What was it that even made you go in this direction?
I don't even know if you guys know this. When I came to Career Reform, I had just graduated from college and had just broken up with my boyfriend of 3 years, who I thought I was going to marry.
Boy. Wow.
So here I am with this degree that I don't want to use because I don't want to be a research scientist and I don't want to work for an oil company.
Oh.
And I literally felt like I had nothing in my life. So I moved home and I probably spent at least 15 hours in bed every day for 2 months. And then I came to Career Reform, and Joan kicked my butt. Get out of bed. Figure out what to do. And I realized I wanted to be a CEO of a nonprofit someday, and I had to start from the ground up building that. But Joan really pushed me to take hold of my contacts and reach out to them, and I ended up finding one. And then I volunteered for a month and a half because, like Joan said, don't just take a job, do what you want to do, and they ended up making a position for me.
The reason that I initially came is to kind of prod my father into doing it. He was in the sales industry for 25 years, and the company that he worked for, as things started to change in that company, he decided one day that, you know what, this isn't what I want to do anymore. Not thinking of what comes next. So it really threw him off, and it was tough looking at my father going through that.
Oh, wow.
And the only reason he was going to do it is if I said, Dad, we're going to do it. And he did. And after getting him there, it was my old dad again. He was happy again. There was things that opened his eyes that Joan drew out of him. It really opened my eyes to what I was doing and what I am currently still doing in my own the career that I'm in right now that is slowly transitioning out. The ball game's changed, and what I needed to do is realize that and then get out there and just do it. Go forward to the next step, because I'm making myself miserable in what I'm doing, and I hate it. I hate it.
I was in a successful career as an executive assistant, was very excellent at my work, but found I hit a wall. So there were a lot of things going on at the time that I was looking at, education and career path and those types of things. And that's when, going through some of the work that I did with Joan and Jean, I realized what was important to me. What did I like doing? I found that I loved numbers. I loved working with money. It was the energy that I really was looking at. I went back to school. I did get my bachelor's successfully, but I got in the door at a nonprofit in an accounting position. I've been there a little over a year. I've been just promoted to an accounting manager, and I'm watching things just evolve. And it's about the strategy of it all. And I never thought strategically, ever. I never thought I'd have to step back to move forward.
I was working, and I was working hard and getting, a lot of good feedback and, recognized for my work and things. But in terms of like where my train was going and where I wanted to be in things, it just wasn't necessarily a match in a lot of ways. So it was nice to talk to an expert and to go to someone who really just wasn't a family member or a friend, and a lot more objective, and someone who could not only look at me on, physically and in person, but on paper and with the disc profiles and everything, to just kind of say basically where you are. It's as if you're writing with your left hand when you're a righty, and it was just what I was compensating and doing, and finding the environment that was best for me. There were all these things that anybody with an opinion just couldn't help me with. So I really needed to go and speak with an expert. I don't know, it's like when you're in the wrong job, it's like it reminds me of having like a stone in your shoe or something. Like you realize it's there and you can ignore it, but it's just kind of bothering you, and then finally you just have someone who's kind of laid out the proper tools, like way beyond what color's your parachute, but like just can kind of saying, here you go. And you know, it takes time for you to ultimately get to that point where you want to make the right decision for yourself, but there's a momentum, and it's just unlike any other investment I've made. It's just kind of a payback.
I was fortunate enough to only have 2 employers in Western New York up until 2008. And
Wow.
at that time, as you may recall, we sold our company. So here I was, a 44-year-old guy going, now what? So I knocked on my neighbor's door and I said, you know, something happened to me. Do you know anybody good in the area? And he goes, I got to tell you, I know someone named Joan. And that's how it started. I didn't know the name of her company. I didn't know anything about it. And I reached out to Joan and I met her. And I said, you sold the company. You know that. I met Joan. I said, that's pretty clear to me, not a problem. Well, I do this and I do that. And I said, sign me up. So I came to it expecting really almost like a moment to pause, take a breath, sit back, regroup, organize the thought process to get back out there. And oh, by the way, if you want to change out of being a sales manager, now's the time to do a little networking. Take some time. And the time I took, I regrouped and I went back after another very aggressive opportunity, so I got the confidence, stayed organized through all that, and that didn't quite work out, but at least I learned so much about myself going through that process. So at that point, because I went through it, I had a good foundation, which you folks provided. I kept myself in order. I still have your book in my bottom drawer at my current place of employment, and I too have been there for over a year, and things are going fantastic.
I was in an industry with a company for 11 years, and then 2008, 2009 came. In 2009, I was downsized out. So I knew that I needed to make a drastic change for the next position, because I had years and years of stability and then 3 years of
Bim, bam, boom.
bim, bim, boom. And I thought I had a killer resume. No, it was good, but it was 10, 12 years that it was really done that way.
Yeah.
And what Joan had showed me in the course is I had a thinking that, you know, job search was the way it was 15, 20 years ago. It's not. What this course did was made me learn my brand. Even though I knew my brand, I really didn't know my brand.
What we're hoping to accomplish is, let's not wait for a problem. Let's try to be more proactive versus being reactive. Let's look at our career in a really exciting way versus this is the way we need and have to make our money. This is an investment you should be making in yourself. Just like me adding a server to my company, I have to spend obviously thousands of dollars to do that. You know, why do people stop investing in themselves? We're sick of hearing those words, job creation. You need people creation. You have to be true and faithful to the most valuable thing you own, and that's yourself. You know, and it's great to be loyal, and it's great to be committed, and it's great, but that entity could go away tomorrow, and then you're left. And what are you left with? Being in business is tough, but it's a lot more rewarding than counting your future on somebody else. And that's the difference.